Yo, Andy, what's good, man?
Yeah, man, it's all good. It's all happening. Glad to have you on the show, man.
Yeah, for sure. Blessed you guys for keeping me rocking through the Saturday night here, man. Been blessed. Been listening to you for like a good hour and a bit right now.
Good, man. That's cool, man. Thanks very much for listening. And tell us, man, like what you've been up to and how's it going, man? Because you got, like, we were just chatting, obviously, but what's the deal? Because you got lots of things going on, right? Apart from your music.
Yeah. I mean, right now, things keeping me most busy as of this week, as of these next 2 weeks coming or so. Got the Best of UK Gospel album dropping, so been hitting that promo hard and everything else, getting everything lined up to make sure the listeners have something special by the time we're done with it.
Yeah, man. And give us a quick, like, hello to you kind of thing, like who you are, where you come from, and, like, you know what I mean, like how long you've been in the biz and what you're part of.
Yeah, man, I've been running this thing for a while, so started off the game secular, like I know a lot of guys do. Like my logic was I was a Christian guy and everything else growing up, but I took the calling a bit too serious for me to kind of jump into it off of my own will, you know. I was like Christian and rapping, but to me it's like I always said to people that were trying to convince me, shout out to Jason and them guys who's put me under pressure, they always had a feeling I should be doing gospel, you know, and solely gospel like that after being born again and stuff. But I just needed that call. There's a sense of, you know, many are called but few are chosen. And in my world, it's like until I heard God call me into that kind of ministry, it's how serious I took it. I had to hear from him directly on the topic before I kind of made that jump, made that leap to become like a solely a gospel artist. And then one day up in church, shout out to Hillsong. I was up in Hillsong Church listening to Richard Wilkerson Jr. And then he kind of just broke things down in a way that kind of just opened up my mind, took me to a place. I got that same goosebumps feeling and everything else, and I heard God's voice in between. But his thing was basically, you know, we kind of have our own plans, our own whims, our own things that we want to do. And oftentimes, as long as we're in God's presence and God's company where God wants us to be, then how we feel about the situation's almost irrelevant, you know?
Yeah, man.
And he broke down the story of Jonah. And like, the way he broke it down, because to me in my head, the whale was the most messed up part of the whole story that most people remember too when he's in the belly of the whale. But the way he broke it down was, yo, that's the best place in the whole context of the story up until that point.
Yeah.
He was trying everything else. When he's in the belly of that whale, he was saying that that's exactly where God wanted him to be at that time. And then, like, in that moment, I kind of zoned out and was like, had God speak to me, telling me, yeah, you're waiting for the call. Now's the call. And I'm like, I'm trying to flip it into a brand now. I'm like, John, I need to flip this. I need to make this like the cornerstone of kind of what I'm going to do. And I kind of paralleled it. My Christian name, middle name is Daniel. And like Daniel in the Lion's Den was kind of the natural parallel to me in that Daniel was blessed in the Lion's Den, you know?
Yeah.
So kind of whatever circumstance we're in, no matter how crazy the circumstance, if it's where God wants us to be, then that's the best place to be. So everything I do it from the Lion's Den, which is the company, the record label that I set up right after hearing that call. I think it took me like a week. I don't really play like that. Like a week after I kind of got that blessing, got that word from God, I set up straight the Lion's Den, linked with a few artists, and I started meeting them every Friday. Like I mix, I produce, and all that good stuff. So we got it on and popping, and within a year, the Lion's Den presented our first kind of project, which was the baptism, with a bunch of young heads, a bunch of folks starting out and such. But I kind of just launched the thing. Then after that, boom, I dropped my first album. A year after that, there was I'm a Christian, and then did another combination project. Always like to do one me thing, one everybody thing to pull everyone along at the same time. Then did the Positive mixtape, which I think you got a couple of tracks from to play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on the back of that, now we're kind of coming up to the time with the Best of UK Gospel, which is kind of like, I think, some of our best work. You know, it's just a higher level of production. I produced the whole thing, but with artists from all over the UK gospel artists, you know. So, yeah, we've been running the music thing hard, and in the background we've been handling video. Our motto is kind of spreading the gospel in all forms. So anybody out there who's doing gospel in whatever form it is, spoken word, poetry, photography, art, whatever, we're just trying to be a platform for it to help, support, to fill in any gaps.
So how long have you been doing now? Because I've seen on your Twitter you got like 20,000 followers, right?
Yeah, man, I've been kind of blessed in that angle. I think a lot of people kind of, they feel what we're doing, they support what we're doing and everything else. So in terms of the social media, a lot of the time we've been quite well quite well supported. We're kind of on Twitter from early as well, so.
Yeah, man, one of the first people to get in there. Yeah, man, I thought what I've known of the Lions Den is that you guys got a real good following. So I didn't actually know though that was a record. It's a record label as well.
Yeah, because I mean, it's the heart. I think the heart of what I do, if I had to be 100%, would be the music is kind of, you know, that's what I wake up in the middle of the night with a concept for, an idea for. It's the music kind of at the heart of everything. So that's kind of been the source that everything's kind of grown out from. That's the baby. And then everything else kind of came around that. It's funny because I think a lot of the other stuff that we ended up doing was kind of to support that. So, boom, you're a rapper. What does a rapper need? A rapper needs a producer. A rapper needs a mixer. So then we handle that. Okay, now it's time to step out into the world. You're going to need some social media promo. So you're going to need some videos. You're going to need some videos. I start working with that. Start handling that, perfecting those skills as well. Until it just branched out. You need album covers, do an album with graphic design and all that stuff. So it's kind of out of necessity. All of these things just fit in, you know. That kind of God just, I think He blesses us all with spiritual gifts and talents and things like that. So I've never been a person to shy away from something just due to a lack of experience. I've kind of grown now. And the kind of whole thing just matured, because now I can say I've been doing this for 10 years when I speak to people, you know.
Man, well, let's get straight into your hits, man. I got Devil May Cry and Faith Child from Positive. Do you want to go ahead and introduce them?
Yeah, Devil May Cry. I think that's one out of the concept that I think for some people, they may not believe in God, but I think for some people they believe in the devil, and then the two kind of go hand in hand now. So it's like if you believe in the devil, you're forced to believe in God. So it's kind of playing with the idea and then just wanting to do stuff to put the devil under pressure. So I just kind of wanted to sum up that feeling, because sometimes we kind of feel like the devil's this great, omnipotent being that can kind of put our lives under pressure and these things. But no, the devil's the one that's been under pressure from day dot, you know. He's the one that's running around scared and scrambling at these things. We ain't got to be scared of the devil and these things. He's not an omnipotent being. He's a spirit that messed up and has gone through the consequences of being messed up. And that was the Devil May Cry. That was just about a kind of apologetics vibe, putting the devil under pressure. And I forget, unfortunately, there's the author of Narnia called. I was reading a lot up on him at the time when I wrote it. It's going to bug me if I can't remember. I'm going to try to get the name and come back to you on that one.
No worries, man.
He was one of the...
No worries, man. But what about Faith Child?
Yeah, Faith Child was... It's funny. It's like I'd done an interview with Faith Child at the time when we were talking and stuff and whatnot. And then I was kind of going through the process of like sorting out some beats and stuff for him. And then I know he's like a busy guy and whatnot. So it's like, I think I kind of done it just to send it to him to get his attention, one. But two, also just the fact that kind of the kind of life that we're brought up from, man, in that around us, if we don't clock the thing right,
yeah, man,
we're going to end up in the same place as a lot of people that ended up in a bad place. So it's just about kind of the parents' role and the mother's role in their lives, and seeing you go from your mom when you're little telling you don't do this, don't do that, why you staying out by 7 o'clock, and you think, oh, we're talking about 7 o'clock, like, it's not a problem. Then you kind of see later down the road, we're like them boys in the hood with Furious as a dad and stuff type movies. By the end of it, you see what happened to your friends, and you're like, okay, yeah, I see what you were saying now. What I was trying to do, because...
Oh, yeah, I see it now, I see it.
Break you off with a little exclusive there, that one, Dance with the Devil. It's only me and a select few people that have heard that one before tonight, because that's due to drop when it comes out on the Best of UK Gospel. I got that on there, so yeah, that ain't been played out there in the world before.
Cool, man, that's an exclusive right there. And what's the other one?
The other one, Go Girl, that's called. That one, I was working with a Christian domestic violence charity. Restored, shout out to them and the work that they're doing, tackling Christian domestic violence, basically, because it's 1 in 3 nowadays, which just sounded crazy to me, so I wanted to get involved and do something. So I was working with them. We did a short film, and knowing what we do, we had to put in a little soundtrack song to go with it. So it's a song that's kind of addressing a few issues to do it, domestic violence, Go Girl.
Before we get into those tracks, just give us a brief download of what you're doing with the what's it called, the Gospel Unity Cypher movement. Because every time I watch that, like you're always at the front of it.
Yeah, so it's something that we host in the Lions Den as part of our. There's a lot going on the YouTube, but that's kind of the thing that's creating the most buzz right now, running the place. The Unity Movement Gospel Rap Cypher. So that is just some gospel rap artists that are doing their thing from all over the UK as well. We're starting to cross over as well, but I don't know if I should keep that a surprise or give you another exclusive. But we reached out as far as like Germany.
Oh, really?
We're hopefully going to get a feature coming from as well, because people all over the place are kind of hearing it and showing their love. Bahamas and these things, you know how the internet goes. But yeah, we're just kind of trying to create some more unity in our scene, man. I don't know if you clocked it from your perspective, but the gospel rap scene's a little bit fragmented at times.
Yeah, man. I mean, I do get it, man. Yeah, I do get it. It is fragmented across the country because there's a lot more rappers out there outside of London. But you know what I mean? You gotta open the barrier and kind of say to them, like, you know, it's a welcome message to everybody. So when you said Germany, what is it? Is it a group of people? Is it just singular people?
Well, one rapper in particular, Jacob Jehudiel, I hope I am pronouncing his name right over here. It's funny because he kind of reached out to me on Facebook as well. It's kind of how he made the link. That he's hearing it, he's feeling it, he's loving it, and just wanted to be a part of it. So he said he's willing to come over to London just to drop some bars as a gospel rapper from Germany. And I'm going to do everything I can to support it happening, just to keep spreading the love as far as Germany would be a good look.
Wow, man. You know what? I actually got some new music that I'm not going to have time to play tonight, or hopefully next time. But it's a new, funny enough, a German, probably the most well-known German gospel rappers in the country. They're called, if I pronounce the name right, it's a Capi de Capo or something like that. It basically means like Godfather.
Okay.
And they're like the most well-known ones. And I got their music, and hopefully, like I say, I'll hopefully playing it next weekend. But it's awesome. They do a lot of stuff with like the Hog Mob tour, and they're part of like Seven and stuff like that. So
the language crosses over so nicely in hip hop in the same way. I love any type of music I like, but it sounds best German hip hop, yeah.
Yo, man, I want to get straight into these tracks you sent me, yo. So we're gonna try and do Dancing with the Devil first, and then obviously we're playing it. For everyone listening, we're playing it still on Facebook. So this is like, you know, I've no idea how good the sound's going to be on this one. We have to trust Facebook.